Alright guys, it's been a while. This is going to be an update video, and I think the last video that I posted about my progress and health was the 30 days alcohol free. I did go through 30 days of alcohol free. I made 30 days and it was very successful. I felt a lot better. I was clearer. I was happier. My overall level of happiness went up. I did go back to drinking alcohol again, but much less than I used to. If you look back through the history of my videos, at one point I was abusing alcohol like daily. I'd go through a pint of something, typically it was Fireball, and I'd go through that like at least a bottle would last me like 2 days. So I'd drink half a bottle a day, just sipping on it in the evening, and it was terrible. It was destructive, and I was ruining my relationship, and I was ruining my life and my career advancement and just everything. So it was very bad. And then I'd gotten back to where, I started drinking less potent alcohol like beer. It was higher volume beer like the 8%, sometimes the 14% beers. And I've way tapered off of that. I am drinking again, but it's very, very much less than it was. Maybe it's a little more than your average social drinker, but I'd say that in a 7-day period I drink 3 times. It'll typically be on the weekends, like Friday, Saturday night, because I don't work on the weekends usually unless I'm on call, and I won't drink when I'm on call. And it'll be just like a 6-pack of weak beer. Typically Michelob Ultra will be my beer of choice, but I don't do it like daily, and I don't do it to the point that I'm blackout drunk. And I used to not feel satisfied until I was blackout drunk. So that's an update for the 30 days of alcohol, which I'm doing tons better. I still drink tons better. And overall health, as far as my surgery, the VSG surgery and hernias and everything, there's a couple of updates for that. Number one, I have a new condition that I just discovered, that I have reactive hypoglycemia. I'm not diabetic. I never was. I've always been kind of like borderline, but I eat better than I used to. And even in that aspect, it's not as good as it should be, because I'll make a video about reactive hypoglycemia, what it is and how I'm dealing with it, which just advanced on that. I'm successfully thwarting it off. I know what it takes to get me into a low blood sugar state, and I know how to not do it. So I'll post a video about that. The other thing is my weight. My highest weight ever before surgery was 330 pounds. And from the surgery, within about 1.5 years, I got down to about 210. I never really reached 209, just barely. And then I had some regain, and I got up to about 230, 232, 233, and now I'm down to about 225. So I hover around 225. That's actually, it should be better, but ever since I had a vacation and it broke my workout habit, which I'm very much a creature of habit, I haven't gotten back into the habit. It's winter now, lots of snow and ice. I like to bike, so I don't get out and bike like I did. I'm sure that weight will come down again, especially with the way I eat now, and if I get back into a regular workout routine. I do have a gym membership, but we're going to get a house soon, and so I'm wanting to put a gym into the basement of the house, because the motivation to get out, to get all bundled up because it's freezing up here, and go to the gym is just very low. So I have weights in the house, and I do a little bit of lightweight work here, and I like to lift weights, and I can't wait until I have an in-home gym. That'll help a lot. My hernia. So the hernia is fine. However, if you follow my hernia videos, I had a procedure done where they sealed up my fascia, sewed that up, and then there's a mesh that's underneath that as well. So the mesh is still intact. It's probably as big as my hand. The sheet is probably as big as my hand. The mesh is still intact, but the fascia, a portion of it has opened up, and I can feel it. I can feel where it's opened up, but there's mesh underneath it, and it's fine. I've had the doctor check it out, and he said that sometimes that happens. Don't know exactly why. It could have been from the weight regain. I don't know, but it hurts me just very occasionally, not like on a terrible ongoing basis. I'm not worried about it. I still do strenuous things and I don't feel like it affects it. Honestly, what affects it most is if I eat foods that don't combine well in my stomach and create bloat. Internal pressure seems to be worse than like doing squats or doing any type of heavy lifting. So I'm not concerned about it. He's not concerned about it until it becomes something to be concerned about. So the hernia is doing okay. The weight is not as good as I want it to be, but most people aren't. I mean, I think a lot of us live in a state where my weight isn't exactly where I want it to be, but it's far better than where I started. My alcohol consumption's much less. I got married last May the 4th. I don't know if I post about that, but my wedding ring. And I've been with the girl for a long time, so it's a great relationship. She's very supportive. We're going to get a house together. So, as an overall, I'm in a better state. My level of happiness is very stable. You know, I have my bad days, I have my great days, but I'm doing much better. I know there's been some comments on some of my videos about concern. You know, I'm concerned about Chris and how's he doing and stuff. I'm doing good. I want you guys to know that I appreciate the support. I appreciate whenever you make comments. I appreciate when you engage with my videos. And not just because I get more views and more likes or whatever. It just tells me that people are out there that care about my well-being. Some people troll, and you get trolls in any, if you're on any social media, you always get trolls. And the trolls are welcome too, because it's just interaction and engagement. And sometimes I'll play with the trolls, and sometimes they hurt my feelings, but I'm pretty much above that. So that's another story. I think I mentioned long ago that I went through a serious bout of depression where I was actually suicidal, and this was about 11 years ago. And I'll never get that bad again. I discovered how to beat that. So there's a quick update. My next topic of interest that I'm really excited to share with you guys is how I'm dealing with reactive hypoglycemia, and if you have it, what a good strategy is to keep it under control. Again, if you're type 1 diabetes and you experience highs and lows because of your pancreas's inability to produce insulin, then that's another topic. I mean, that's something that is very hard to mitigate and you have to be on top of it. But if you're type 2, or if you're reactive hypoglycemia, like does happen to a lot of VSG patients, that's something that you can mitigate with your food. I'm so positive about that, and I know there's a lot of complaints and a lot of counter arguments and information from doctors and health people, gurus, that'll tell you that that's not true, that you just need to take medicine or whatever. That's not true. So I hope you guys are doing well. I was going to make this update shorter than 8 minutes and 15 seconds, but sometimes these things happen. Have a good day. Hope you're doing great.